This is why I feel like the cost of living has never been as bad as it is right now. Because it used to be when the cost of living was high, it was for the things that you need in life. Food, gas, shelter, etc. All those things cost a lot of money. Right now, all of those things still cost a lot of money. And also, I feel like it's just expensive to just be alive. Like, I feel like my life, as soon as I wake up, is literally just me putting down a credit card, and it's just a tab. And life is a bartender. And it's just like, what are you going to have? And I'm just like, I'm okay. I don't really need anything today. And it's just like, oh, really? Well, if you're going to be here, you're going to need to spend money. And I'm just like, what do you mean here? I'm just in the world. And it's just like, yeah, you have to buy something now. It's even getting to the point where, like, I feel like even my thoughts are getting expensive, you know? Like I could just have the thought of like, my nose is a little stuffy. And then all of a sudden, I open up my phone 10 minutes later and have 12 ads for like, oh, you have a pollen allergy and you got to buy these anti-pollen allergy pills or you're going to suffocate in your sleep. Sleep is the only place I still feel kind of safe. But even there, it's like I could have sleep problems for one night and then I wake up feeling kind of groggy and all of a sudden I'm getting targeted ads for melatonin gummies. It's like all of our necessities are still expensive, and then also just every increment of our life costs something.
I don't want to live here anymore. I live in America, and the sense of dread that I feel living here for the next 30, 40 years is so bad, you guys. Let me just give you a little peek into my world. So 5 years ago, me and my husband bought our home. Okay, we bought our home on my 22nd birthday. Our home at the time was valued at $130,000 by the county. Now, mind you, we did not pay this much for our home. I wish we did, but we did not. 5 years later, we just looked. Our home is valued at $248,000 5 years later. Last year, our home appraised at $161,000. If we were to try to buy a home now, I don't think that we would be able to do it. 5 years ago, all they told you was you needed good credit and $10,000 saved up. That was more attainable 5 years ago for a couple of early 20-year-olds than it would be for two people dual income in our mid-20s right now. At the time, me and my husband were making really good money. I mean, for two people that don't have college degrees, we were making well over $100,000 a year. And in the South, specifically Texas, that used to stretch. Nowadays, it literally doesn't mean anything. Like, groceries are too high. The cost of living is too high. The housing crisis is out of control. People move. It's bad. It's bad, you guys. It's getting bad, and it's getting worse and worse by the year, no matter who's elected president. We were not put on this earth to work 70 plus hours a week, not be able to spend time with our families. We were put on this earth to consume art, have community, try new foods, new cultures, travel. We did everything that they tell us you're supposed to do. We went to college. Now, do we have degrees? No. We went to college. We saved up the money. We worked really hard. We bought the house. People base their whole self-worth off of their work ethic. I'm not one of those people. Even if you say, oh, you've done this and this and look at all the things you've acquired. I don't care. I can't even imagine people that stay at their job 30, 40 years. Kudos to you. It's really hard for people, and I think especially my generation, to just see us doing the same thing for the next 30 years. And for what? I don't know what we're supposed to do. People my age. Is this it? Is this what we do forever? Nah. I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to do this. And I'm not saying that there's somewhere better and there's a utopia that you don't have to work. But I think that there has to be somewhere that it's beneficial for the amount that you work. Fun. People will say, well, what are you going to do when you're older? How are you going to retire? I don't know. But I know that I'm going to enjoy every day and I'm going to be happy every single day.
You cannot budget your way out of a bad economy and greed. I just saw a girl on here say her rent is going up from $1,300 to $1,800. Nothing's changing, just a $500 increase because they can do that. And it was so upsetting hearing the anger and frustration in her voice because obviously if she resigns but can't make those monthly payments, she'll be facing eviction and homelessness. But if she chooses to relocate, that's also very expensive because a lot of places want first month, last month, and security deposit, which is oftentimes equivalent to 1 month's rent, which, by the way, rent these days, you're not finding anything under like $1,500. Then you have to pay for your U-Haul if you want to get movers, if you want to move across state lines to hopefully find something cheaper. Like, all of that adds up for one event, and you're looking at $7,000 or more. Now, who has that just sitting around in the bank these days? I would love to know. Tell me your secrets, please. But it's just scary. Even private landlords are being impacted because their property taxes are going up. So now they have to up the rent on their tenants. And I just want to know, where do we all fit in this system? What is the angle here for us? And I hate to say this, but I feel like there is no angle for us other than to be weeded out. We're not in the big picture. Our well-being, our basic human rights, food, shelter, that kind of stuff, that's not on the agenda of these private corporations who are upping the prices on these complexes, or the government and the economy that claim to care about us so much. We're not on their agenda. So like I said in the beginning, it's just scary because no matter how you try to sit there and go over your budget and review your monthly statements and try to stop spending here and stop spending there, you cannot budget your way out of a shitty economy and greed. I don't know. It's scary, but...
The cost of living crisis in America is real, and I completely understand why so many people feel inclined to create video content on a platform like TikTok, expressing their disdain for it. Everyone is hurting. Even if you're a high-income earner, you're not alone. And it really is no wonder, just given how prices have gone up on just about everything from food to gas in this country. The average cost of a home is $420,000. Most people don't have the ability to afford that, especially with crippling debt, like in the form of student loans, and a myriad of different bills that people just can't seem to get out from underneath of. So it begs the question, what do we do? Where do we go from here? We can't even buy cheap food at McDonald's for $1 anymore. They completely nixed the dollar menu. And what dystopian future are we living in which we have to pay more than $1 for fake food at McDonald's that doesn't even taste any good? So it begs the question, what do we do? And I just can't help but feel like there really is no easy solution. Unfortunately, there are external factors constricting the economy that are out of our control. But what we can do, what we should feel inclined to do, is come together now more than ever before. Reason being is because if we're going to survive, if we're going to ensure our quality of life, we need each other now more than ever. We need some sense of solidarity, and that's something that's been lacking in this country for what seems like the longest time, just given the stark racial, cultural, and socioeconomic divides. And that could be attributed as a result of us having existed in this system that seeks to pit us against each other as competitors, as opposed to being counterparts. We don't even see each other as fellow countrymen and women anymore. And I think it's a real shame because nowadays you're going to need people and they're going to need you. So it's up to us. Either we stand united or fall divided.
Can you believe my net pay as a New York City teacher with a bachelor's and a master's degree, 5 years experience, is only $1,772? Damn. Let's break out the numbers and talk about why it's that low. Now, my gross pay is actually $3,151 per check. Federal taxes take out $262. Social Security takes out $195. State taxes takes out $122. Medicare takes out $45. City tax takes out $20. So the government portion alone is $646. Where are my tax dollars going? The roads still suck. I work in a school that doesn't have the supplies or anything they need. I need to know where my dollars are going because y'all taking $646 a check. All right. And then we have other deductions such as my pension, which is $141, my 403B, which is $451, and then my union dues, which is $66. So that leaves me with a net pay of $1,772. Now, I will be getting a 3% raise this month, but I've decided to up my 403B contribution from 15% to 16%. So some of that money will go there, and I'll probably see maybe $50. But on the monthly basis, this looks like gross pay being $6,302. The government's portion is $1,292. My retirement gets $1,186. My union dues get $133, which gives me a net monthly pay of $3,544. One-bedroom apartments in New York are easily $2,000. You even go to the Bronx, you paying like $1,500, $1,600 for a one-bedroom. Thank heavens I got a condo at like a really good price, because as a teacher with 2 degrees, how do people afford to live like this? Like, It's really not a lot. And I know I'm giving a lot of money to my 403b, but like it's either you don't put a lot towards retirement because you need to live now, or you find a cheap place to live at so you can put more towards retirement. And it's like, we should be able to do both at the same time, especially in a high cost of living area. But let me know in the comments, does this shock you, or you're like, girl, you're a teacher, this doesn't shock me at all?